Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope this video finds you all doing great. We're coming up to the end of the year between Christmas and New Year, so hopefully you're enjoying time with family and friends or just enjoying the end of the year celebrations. Today, I got 3 different dragon teams for the Dragon Turn Attack tournament, which you may be thinking, well, isn't dragon the worst dungeon to farm? And you know what? You're probably right, except for this time right now. 3x speed drops, and I want to preface that by saying dragon. The reason why I believe it's one of the worst dungeons to farm as far as Dragon, Ice Golem, Fire Knight, and Spider is because most of this gear set outside of speed is really, quickly surpassed once you get later in the game. Now, if you're early and mid game and you're not quite farming perception gear yet, then Dragon is very valuable. Toxic set is very good. Lifesteal set's very good. There's a lot of very good sets in Dragon that honestly drop off very sharply once you get perception. Once you're outpacing lifesteal, once you don't need that stuff anymore, you're really moving past dragon farming in general, except for on 3x speed. 3x speed events, now you're getting the set you're actually farming for, you're getting, well, 3x more drops ideally. It may not feel like that, but that's what it's supposed to be. So today, I want to focus a lot of this around the champion, hopefully, many of you have gotten a few days ago, which is Nishak Verminlord. He was a previous fusion, so maybe you have 2 copies of him, and if you do, it's excellent because you can build one for Bommel, high attack, all that kind of stuff, and then one for soloing content. So today we're going to be doing solo, stage 7 hard, duo, stage 10 hard, and then a speed team on stage 10 hard that cost me way more gems than I would like to admit. With that said, I'd appreciate if you guys dropped a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and all that kind of good stuff. So Nishak's build currently, for Dragon specifically, are the following stats. Now, if you want to, really min-max this, come over to the Hell Hades website. This is just from the Gear Optimizer, but you can go to hellhades.com and go to the Stages tool, and that will essentially show you the stats you need. So over here, if I go to stage 7, I'm looking for 390 resistance because it has 285 accuracy. So I'm going to need 390 resistance to resist the dragon's debuffs. And then for my accuracy, I need to beat his resistance. So I'm going to need 300 accuracy. So my Nishak is a little bit overkill. He has fine accuracy, a little bit low to be honest, but with his masteries, it should be no problem. And then 440 resistance. Now this makes a little bit more sense once we move up into stage 10 hard. Stage 10 hard mode, we need 435 resistance and 345 accuracy. 345 accuracy will be added. I'll show you guys that in just a few moments. And then the resistance, we should be okay. Was it 435? It was 435 indeed. So check your stats based on that. Also check the speeds, which helps you out a little bit with, making sure you're going first, which if you look at me, I'm 251 speed. So we're going to be solid, but champions are also dying along the way. So we should be fine either way, just because we're getting that plus extra speed from his mastery. Speaking of, let me go ahead and show you his masteries before we jump into this, in case you just want to copy the build down and just go straight in for it. So HP, make sure it's good. Very, very important to have good HP. Make sure you also have good defense. Defense is very crucial. The speed, I've done builds that were much slower than this. You just have to bump up the HP and the defense quite a bit. Accuracy and resistance are both very, very important stats. Also, I have regeneration plus immortal. You may be able to break the immortal set, but if you do, you're gonna have to bump it up quite a bit for the accuracy or the HP or the defense. As far as his skills, he's fully booked. I have brimstone. There's probably other things you can go besides brimstone. It's not really bringing me that much, to be honest. I would love 2-star, but either way, it's going to be nice when it actually lands. And then as for the masteries, we have extra turn meter essentially from Oppressor based on the amount of debuffs that I place. So a lot of turn meter boosting stuff. You guys can just copy this down if you see it. Well, you do see it if you're watching the video. If you can't see it, then hey, I guess watch it back later on. I don't know how to help there. But as far as the skills, the reason why he's so good, he places bombs, places decreased attack, makes the bombs pop, and then the poisons go everywhere, okay? That's really what Nishak does. He is a poison phenom. He is incredible when it comes to making a ton of poisons get placed out very quickly. And they're unremovable, which doesn't really matter in this situation. So here we go. Let's go ahead and jump in here. Also, guess what? There's no presets. So you can use this Nishak to farm Dragon hard mode with RSL Helper going. You don't have to worry about presets making your champions not be swapped out. So RSL Helper, you can set it to replace the 4 champions behind Nishak. Bada bing, bada boom, set it overnight. Now you wake up with tons of quad roll speed gear after you level it up, as well as some level 30, level 40 champions, whatever it may be, preparing yourself for any future champion training events, which, speaking of, I actually need to work on getting some more champions prepared for that, because I've been using a lot of my brews just kind of whenever I want, to be honest, and that's going to be my downfall. If something happens and we have a champion training tournament for like a Taras, well, I'm just out of luck then because people are going to wood wail so hard for that. Plarium wouldn't do that anyways, though Krisk was a big one. Either way, if we have a big champion training tournament, I may be in a rough spot. I have a lot of 5-star level 1 champions, but I do not have very many brews. So the champions are great. They're like basically tournament point jars, okay? I can just dip in those chests, pull out the tournament points whenever I want, but I need brews to put into those champions to collect those tournament points essentially. So we'll see how that goes as we get closer to it. But you can see there are tons of poisons laid out here, tons of poisons. Make sure he's fully booked. Really, most champion who places debuffs and they have a increased buff or debuff chance, you're going to need them fully booked. So now he's coming to the dragon. We have some weird abilities being used, but we placed the decreased attack, which is very, very helpful, and then a ton of poisons. Like I said, I'm not going to let you guys down. There are a ton of poisons being placed by Nishak. Fills up the bar. We may even lose a spot for decreased attack. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, we have no decreased attack. But guess what? It doesn't matter. Even with the dragon having increased attack, we're going to kill him. And what I'd say is a pretty good time, coming in right about 2 minutes. A little bit less, hopefully, than 2 minutes. But do I actually have the unlimited FPS on? Hopefully, because if not, okay, we do. We do have unlimited FPS indeed. So now, that was the first team for Dragon Stage 7 Hard. And if you look at the numbers, the drop rate from 7 Hard to 10 Hard isn't drastic. So if you're somebody who really wants to be efficient and you want to level up champions, a pretty fast team as well, this is excellent for you, specifically during the speed event. The speed event's an excellent time to do that, which I do want to mention. If you watch this point of the video, hopefully most of you are still here. But what I want to say is that it may be worth waiting until tomorrow to actually drop the energy into this, because if this New Year Deck of Fate is a Dungeon Diver event also, I'm assuming it's going to be shards to open, but if it's a Dungeon Diver also, then you're going to want to save some of your energy. Either way, let's move on to the next team, which is the Dragon Stage 10 Hard team, which is going to be Nishak plus Mithrala. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the video that my Nishak is a little bit low as far as accuracy. Well, there's a pretty quick and easy fix for that, and that's just put Mithrala in the lead. Now, as far as Mithrala's build goes, this is what she currently has. Her current build is right here. 65,000 HP, 3,700 defense. We pretty fast, 288 speed, and then good accuracy, and then the resistance is going to be boosted because her accuracy goes over to her resistance essentially. There we go. That's her build and setup. Skills, everything's fully booked. Of course, she has Brimstone for a little extra chance to do some more damage, and then masteries. That's what we have. Now, this team, you may want to do AI presets. I don't want to do AI presets. It'll be a little bit faster. It could be a little bit safer if you did the AI presets. But to be honest, it should be very safe, very consistent either way. I did a video, like I said, a while back, doing this team and running it until it was very successful. I believe it was 95 or 97% success rate. So I'm confident that in sharing this with you guys, it's still going to work very well. You may have to, if you run it a ton, adjust the build just a little bit. But the Mithrala is resisting stuff. Well, except for this decreased defense, which she did not resist. This Nishak is got the decreased defense placed on him, which is very, very not good. So if he was to die on this first wave, it would essentially be over. So if you go in there and you set the presets, basically having Mithrala do the correct defensive stuff, maybe boost up Nishak's stats just a little bit more, this is going to work well for you. I'm not going to be duoing Stage 10 hard. You definitely can. And really, as long as Mithrala gets to the boss with her presets correctly, you can actually basically solo the boss. But I'm not really worried about, well, solo the boss with Mithrala, just constantly placing the A1 poisons. I'm not really worried about that. And to be honest, I may even go in and boost Nishak's HP and defense a little bit higher. That may be worth it. You may not even need as much speed. Matter of fact, I could drop the speed a little bit since I have 3 people dying, and he has the mastery where it boosts his speed based on champions dying. I believe he's going to have an extra 24 speed, so I could drop it down probably to like 230 and still be fine. Still go before the dragon because I have 3 allies dead. We have no res champion here. You could also bring a champion like Elva, a champion who's going to res. Now, the issue with Elva is that she's going to make the run slower. So if you want the run to be faster, Mithrala plus Nishak is a very solid combo. But if you're okay with the run being a little bit slower, making it even safer, then a res champion is going to be very solid. It could be Pythion, it could be Elva, any res champion, really just escorting Nishak to the boss, making sure he stays alive. That's going to be excellent. My kids just walked in. They got home from the doctor, which, speaking of, kind of funny, my oldest son is like the 70th percentile, 70 or 80th percentile in the height and weight. My youngest son is like the 70th percentile in weight and the 40th in height. So he's a pretty thick little dude, which, speaking of, come here, buddy. You want to jump up here and say hi? Come here. He's got a sucker, he says. All right, so what is that? There we go. his face is green. He's not actually, well, his face was getting blocked out by the green screen. He's not actually green. Not sick. But he does have a little blue sucker. So we're going to go ahead and finish up this dragon run right here. And then I want to jump over and show you guys my speed team. Wait. I'm doing video. Yeah? That's awesome, bud. All right. So, yeah, I'll let you say hi. All right. Your hair is messed up, dude. All right. You got some green showing through on your shirt as well. Let Daddy finish this video, and I'll be right back, okay? All right, guys. So I'm going to jump over real quick into the speed team version of this. And there we go. 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Hopefully that looks safe. I wasn't actually paying attention. I was picking up the little kids. So we're going to do the speed team and wrap things up. So the speed team was one that, well, I spent, whoa, hey, whoa, green screen falling down. My goodness. Hey, go upstairs with mama for a second, okay? All right, guys, so this speed team right here is the one that I've very much been enjoying. I probably won't use it that much, but if you're somebody with these champions, then go ahead and build this stuff, and it should work out very well for you. Dragon 10 hard. So Stoutus, we have Kymar, Seer, Ghostborn, Dark Kale. So Stoutus, we'll start off round 1, round 2, round 3. This is very important. Just copy this down. If you're getting these speeds and these stats, copy this down. Prince Kymar, round 1, round 2, round 3. Seer, round 1, round 2, round 3. Ghostborn, round 1, round 2, round 3. Dark Kale, round 1, round 2, round 3. So there we go. I'm going to show you guys the builds of these champions right after we finish this. I want to go ahead and sort by recently used. But essentially we have going on Kymar sleeps, Ghostborn debuffs, Seer nukes. Same thing happens, except now Kymar's going to reset, Ghostborn nukes, well, Ghostborn debuffs, Seer nukes. And then here we have 2 sets of Stone Skin on Kale. We have 2 sets of Stone Skin, 2 turns of Stone Skin on Stoutus. And then basically our champions die, which is my whole plan. And then Stoutus and Kale just drop the boss. Should be very consistent, very safe. Maybe it has a fail every now and then, but it's 26 seconds, 28 turns about. So if you're looking for good points in the turn attack tournament, this is going to be an excellent option for you. So let's go ahead and see that one more time. Maybe it can drop down to 25 seconds. I've had some better runs, some better RNG, but that one was very solid. I think like the fastest I had was 25 seconds with this team. It was showing my best stuff anyways. So there, we got some poisons going out. We want our champions to die, so we don't want a super thick shield set on Ghostborn. I do have a shield set on him to let Seer do a little bit more damage, but I don't want a super thick shield set because I'm not trying to make it tank the damage. I'm just trying to make the shield set there just so we have extra buff. So there we go, 28 turns, 27 seconds, very solid run. So as far as the builds on these champions, my Kymar is just fast. He doesn't have to be this fast. He just has to be the fastest on the team, ideally, for this specific setup. As far as the skills and the masteries, there we go. Skills, everything's fully booked, except for everything that's important, I guess. Really just the A3 is important, and it's barely even important because we only use it once. As far as the masteries, this is what I have. Basically a PvP arena setup. So as far as Stoutus goes, wait, actually, this Kymar, okay, nothing relevant on the A1. Stoutus is just bare bones slow, so no speed whatsoever anywhere. I want to be as slow as possible and very tanky. So he currently has 105 HP, 105,000 HP. We have very slow stats, and then accuracy and resistance, they don't even matter. Honestly, you don't want to have a ton of resistance. I noticed if I had a ton of resistance, it would be in a hard time actually reflecting the debuffs back to the boss. So as far as the skills, everything's fully booked. His passive is really the main thing we care about here, and then masteries, I have some extra HP. For Ghostborn, I have him faster than everybody else, and I actually have him in good accuracy. Some of you may be thinking, well, Tyraku, he doesn't need accuracy because he can't be resistant on his A3. Well, guess what? His A1 also places a decreased defense, so I want him to use that first on the actual boss, and that does require accuracy. So with his build, we have a shield set, we have some accuracy, and we have him relatively fast. As far as his masteries go, just a typical damage dealer mastery, kind of. War Master for clan boss, I guess, but this is the build I have for him. Just a little bit extra damage if War Master procs when he hits. And Seer, she's just built to do a lot of damage. She's a lot of crit damage, 356% crit damage. We have Savage crit damage sets. Yeah, so she's doing pretty solid. I like her build. She's doing her job. So she hits hard, Crushing Rend, make her hit hard. You don't need this much stats to actually nuke with Ghostborn. If you don't have Ghostborn, maybe you do for those times where the RNG doesn't line up perfectly. And then lastly is Dark Kale. So Dark Kale, I have a Stone Skin accessory. That's why I have this broken glove piece, but I still have 6 pieces of Stone Skin. So as far as the actual stats go, we have fairly low speed. I'm not trying to make him take a ton of turns. Not yet, at least. I'll get into his masteries and talk about how he does start taking more turns. Resistance, we have 432, and then accuracy, we have 347. I don't know if I actually need that much resistance, to be honest. I have it. It may not make a huge difference since he does have 2 turns of Stone Skin, but I do want it to be safe, and I've noticed it's safest if I'm resisting most of those debuffs. As far as his masteries, I actually have Timely Intervention, and I want to show you guys why that's so important. We also have a bunch of turn meter boosting stuff, as well as some extra accuracy stuff as well. But as far as Timely Intervention, there's a point in this match where my champions die. They're going to be below 20% HP, which means Dark Kale is going to boost his turn meter and essentially squeeze in an extra turn there. The reason why 2 turns of Stone Skin is so important is because the dragon, when he rears back in just a moment, he's going to reduce everybody's turn meter. And when he reduces turn meter, it's not going to affect Dark Kale or Stoutus because they have Stone Skin. So Dark Kale's good, everyone else is low turn meter. So now Stoutus is going to do his A2, then he's going to do his A3 next, keeping the decreased or the increased defense up as long as possible. So Dark Kale is going to come in and do that, and then we have some champions above 20% HP, I believe, so you should be able to see Dark Kale get some turn meter boosted once everybody dies. Boost turn meter, squeezes out an extra turn essentially right there, giving me a little bit extra damage to go ahead and make this run a little bit safer, which is what I need because I don't have 2 Stoutuses. If I had 2 Stoutus, then this run would be even smoother. I just throw both of them in here, no problem. It's one of the best teams in Dragon right now. But since I don't have 2, I got to get a little bit more crafty, a little bit more creative. I was using Calvalax earlier, and that was working, but a little bit more RNG it felt like, and this feels like in general less RNG because we have a lot of poisons. We have poison sensitivity, we have decreased attack when it actually places, which it didn't place seemingly there, and now he gets another turn because it's probably Timely Intervention, to be honest, and we're in a spot where the dragon's not really going to be any threat whatsoever, finishing off at 29 turns with 28 seconds in dungeon. So guys, there we go. That is 3 different teams for Dragon. Essentially, we have a Dragon 10 hard, we have a Dragon 7 hard, both using Nishak. One's a solo version and one's a duo version. Be mindful, make sure your runs are going consistent. They should be very safe. I did a video in the past talking about his exact build after 100 plus runs being tested. And then lastly, we have a Dragon speed running team for stage 10 hard, which is my new speed farming team. I mix it up. Sometimes I do speed farm. Sometimes I do more efficient leveling food farms. But it just really depends on, I guess, what I'm feeling. If I want to get the events done quickly, it's just going to be these speed teams. If I'm okay with taking a little bit longer, running it overnight, putting RSL helper on, especially if I don't have to use presets, then I'll do that then, overnight typically. But one more time, I really like this team. We don't have any decreased attack landing there. I'm not for sure why, but that A1 ability puts a lot of damage out quickly there. There we go. I mean, it's beautiful. 25 seconds, 25 turns. That's the best I've done. So I will screenshot that. And with that said, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of the year, I guess the final few days. And I'll catch you all in the next video.